In this exercise, we're going to create a new topic to hold those ratings events and set up a data generator to populate that topic with simulated ratings. Let's get started. Many connectors can create a topic by themselves, but we want to make sure our topic has certain properties, like a certain number of partitions, so we're going to do it the slightly hard way. Click on the topic screen and click on Add Topic. Call the topic Ratings and make sure the number of partitions is set to 6. That's actually currently the default at the time of this recording. I said this was the hard way, but this actually isn't very hard. It's pretty simple. Now we can create our first connector. This one is just a data generator. It's implemented as a Kafka Connect connector, but it's really this program that's randomly generating data according to some schema, rather than a real connector to a real external system. We don't have a real external system that's doing customer ratings, so we have to simulate those. We will do a real connector in the next exercise, though, don't worry. For connectors to access the Kafka cluster, they need to have an API key. That's for the connector to actually establish a connection to the cluster. It needs that key in secret. You can use an existing one or auto-create one here for your convenience, and we'll do it that way. Click on Generate Kafka API Key in Secret and make note of the key and secret that we've been given in case we need those later, and give it a sensible label. Now we'll fill out the rest of the config for the connector. We want to write the messages into the ratings topic. We need to decide on a serialization format. We'll make that Avro. And now we get into the connector specific configuration. We're going to use the ratings quick start. These other ones just generate different data sets and different schemas. We want ratings and generate a new message every second. Okay, set up one task for the connector, which is plenty for what we're doing here, and click next. On the next screen, you can sanity check that JSON config that we're looking at there, that beautiful piece of JSON, and then click Launch. The connector will take a few minutes to provision. Make yourself a cup of coffee, tea, brandy, absinthe, whatever, time of day and whatever your preference is. And if you think it takes too long, hey, go check out the latest episode of Streaming Audio linked from developer.confluent.io/podcast. This message brought to you by Streaming Audio. You can click on the connector name after it's running to see more detail about it, including its status, which is now running. With the connector running, head over to the topic screen again and click on the ratings topic. Click on the messages tab and we see messages before our waking eyes. Don't worry about the weird characters. That's just down to how the UI displays Avro. The data itself is perfectly safe and sensible, and we'll get to view it properly later on. Now, you can also check out the data lineage feature if it's enabled in your cluster. At the moment, it doesn't really show a lot because we just got one source and one target. It's not very interesting. But as we build the example out, you should look back at this and see how this particular feature is really useful for visualizing what's going on. So that's it. We made a topic. We set up data gen. We got data genning. We've got our simulated ratings. We're ready to move on to the next lesson.